A monomial is a one-term expression that is either a constant, which is a number, or the product of a constant and one or more variables, and those variables can be raised to whole number exponents. So some examples would be -5, it's a constant. 9x, product of a constant and a variable. 8xy, product of a constant and two variables. -7x squared y, product of a constant and variables, and one of those variables is raised to a power. 1/2 x to the third. Remember, a half, even though it's a fraction, is still a constant. A polynomial are a term or a finite sum of monomial terms. All of this form ax to the n, where a is a constant and then the variable raised to an exponent. So, for example, in standard form, one would be 4x to the third minus 1/2 x squared plus x minus 8. This is in standard form because it is written in a descending order of the exponents. You can see that the exponents go from 3 to 2, finally to 1, and to 0, because -8 could be written as times x to the 0 power. A binomial is a polynomial with two terms. So for example, that could be x to the second minus 9, or x plus 1, or 3x to the third minus 4. It just needs two terms. It doesn't matter what degree is on the variables. Trinomial is a polynomial with three terms. So an example could be x squared plus 4x plus 3, or x squared y squared minus 3xy minus 10y. There are three terms. Now, numerical coefficient. That's going to be the number part of each of the monomials in the polynomial. It's basically the number that's multiplying the variable. So, for example, we'll start with 4x to the third minus 1/2 x squared plus x minus 8. All right, now, what is the numerical coefficient? That's often shortened to coefficient. So, for this first term, 4x to the third, the number that's multiplying the variable is the 4. For the second term, the number that's multiplying the variable is -1/2. That sign has to stay with the number. The third term, what number is multiplying the x? Well, remember the 1 is implied, so that numerical coefficient is a 1. And finally, for the last term, the numerical coefficient is -8. Degree of a term will be the sum of the exponents on the variable. So we could have x squared y squared minus 3xy minus 10y. So the degree of each term, here we'd have to take the degrees on each of the variables. 2 plus 2 would be degree 4. Here, the degree on each of those variables is 1, so we would have 1 plus 1, or degree 2. Finally, the degree on the y is a 1, so we would have degree 1. The degree of the polynomial will be the greatest degree of any of the non-zero terms. So in the previous example, the degree of the polynomial would be 4, because that's the largest degree of the terms.